Recapping week 1 of Vikings versus Packers. This was a tough one. The Vikings let the Packers score the Packers offense, by the way, score 43 points against the Vikings defense. That shows how bad the Vikings defense is right now. That's the most points the Vikings have let scored on them in the Mike Zimmer area. Now, is this the worst defense we've seen from the Mike Zimmer era? I don't know yet because these players are so young. I can't say I'm surprised that they allowed 43 points. What I'm surprised is that Anthony Harris wasn't on Davante Adams the entire game like I said they should do because Davante Adams is the only threat they had. Now, they just allowed everyone. It looks like the best corner we have right now is Cameron Dantzler. Holton Hill blew coverage every single time. Mike Hughes didn't even look like he was out there. And then where was Jeff Gladney? I didn't see Jeff Gladney. I want to see more of him. Cameron Dantzler was looking like the best corner we had. And that's not saying much considering no corners even looked that good. Cameron Dantzler missed a couple tackles. I can't say I'm surprised though because the corners are so young. And I've been saying if you have this big question mark at cornerback and it doesn't look good, the team is not going to look good at all. Corner is one of the most important positions in the NFL, the most important position on defense. Now, of course, you need one pass rusher, one great pass rusher, and then outside of that, corner is the position that you need to have covered. And that's where the Vikings' huge question mark is because Vikings' defense is not bad. Even though it looked terrible yesterday, they allowed 43 points. Vikings defense is not bad. They have Anthony Harris and Harrison Smith, best safety duo in the entire NFL. They have a great linebacker group, one of the best linebacker groups as well. But when you don't have that cornerback position covered, at least one lockdown corner. All we need is one lockdown corner. We need one corner to step up, and the Vikings can actually compete for a Super Bowl. Without that, Vikings are not going to compete for a Super Bowl. The way the Vikings looked yesterday, if we look like that against better teams than the Packers, there's a lot of better teams than the Packers. Sorry, Packers fans. If we look like that against other teams, Vikings are not competing for a Super Bowl. It's just not going to happen because if you're going against some of these offenses that you're going to be meeting in the playoffs and you don't have one lockdown corner, you're going to be being scored, 60 points every single game. How are the Vikings going to compete against that? Vikings are going to be looking like the Chiefs. They're going to be looking like the Chiefs. We have to score more points on them than they can score on us. And that's not what you want to see. That is terrible. I mean, Vikings defense, we didn't have Danielle Hunter out there. Where was Ngakoue? Did he even get to Aaron Rodgers once? Did he apply pressure on Aaron Rodgers once? I didn't see it. I didn't see anybody except Afadi maybe go to him once, which that would have been a sack. It wasn't really a sack because it was the intentional grounding. That would have been a sack though, but that's all I've seen. Where was Anthony Barr? Where did they blitz Anthony Barr? I didn't see any of that either. The defense was just terrible. Andre Patterson, what are you doing? Andre Patterson is one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, and he was just, it looked terrible. It looked really bad. 43 points against the Packers offense. Now, Packers have great players. Davante Adams is one of the best wide receivers in the league. Aaron Jones is a great running back, and their running back group outside of Aaron Jones, it looked great. All three of their running backs destroyed us, by the way. Allen Lazard, I've been saying Allen Lazard, they needed a replacement. He's a terrible starting wide receiver. I'm sorry. He's just not a good starting wide receiver. He was open every time. Mike Hughes, can you guard him? Holton Hill, guard him? He was open every time. Valdez-Scantling, terrible. I was saying he's not a good slot receiver at all. Now, he had two great plays. He had two amazing plays, but he also had two terrible drops. This guy is not good. He was open on every single down, and Aaron Rodgers does not rely on him. I don't blame Aaron Rodgers at all. Now, we're covering a lot of bad things. There was a lot of bad things. Kirk Cousins, first half did not look good. He gave that easy pick to Jair Alexander. Wasn't anywhere near Adam Thielen. Where was Adam Thielen in the first half? He had 2 targets in the first half, and then, okay, he did great in the fourth quarter. They used him a lot more in the fourth quarter. I don't know, was Jair Alexander all over him the entire time? I guess so. I can't say anything. This was not Kirk Cousins' fault. Kirk Cousins, yeah, he threw a bad pick. He had a couple bad plays. This game was not Kirk Cousins' fault. They scored 36 points against the Packers defense. Packers defense they're okay. I mean, they have a great linebacker group. They can get to the passer, apply pressure just about on every down. Kenny Clark is a great nose tackle. Now, of course, he was injured halfway through the game, and then their secondary is pretty good. Their secondary is they're young secondary, and they look pretty good. But still, this was not Kirk Cousins' fault at all. This was defense. Corners, can you really be mad at the corners though? Of course I am because I want the Packers to just lose to the Vikings if so bad. And I was saying, the Vikings are going to struggle because of how this corners look. Now, of course, we need one corner to step up. Whether that's Cameron Dantzler, Holton Hill, Mike Hughes, or Jeff Gladney, we need one corner to actually look like a starter. We're okay with that other side. That other side, we can handle that because we have a great safety group. We have a great linebacker group. We need one lockdown corner. I don't know who it's going to be, but we need one lockdown corner. Cameron Dantzler looked like the best corner yesterday. Now, of course, it's one game, and I can't judge it off of that. Mike Hughes has more time under his belt. Hilton Hill, again, has played a lot longer than Cameron Dantzler has, but he looked like the best corner yesterday. Hilton Hill blew coverage on Devontae Adams every single down, and it did not look good at all. The dumbest thing I saw yesterday. The corner wasn't the dumbest thing I saw yesterday, because I can't say I'm surprised about that. I mean, they're all young corners. They're all, 23 and younger. Our oldest corner right now is Mike Hughes, who hasn't even played like a full 16 games yet. But the dumbest thing I saw yesterday, it was 4th down. They didn't go to Dalvin Cook. What was it, 4th and 3 or something? They didn't go to Dalvin Cook. They didn't go to Adam Thielen. They didn't go to Kyle Rudolph. You have people to use for 4th down. Those are the 3 guys you use on 4th down because those are the 3 guys you rely on. They throw to Tajay Sharp. This is Tajay Sharp, first game with the Minnesota Vikings. First game. First target with the Minnesota Vikings also. His first time being thrown to. 4th and 3? Really? Why would you do that? That makes no sense at all. That is stupid. Why would you throw to Tajay Sharp? It's 4th down, and you have 3 great players who you can rely on 4th down, who are great players. Adam Thielen, Kyle Rudolph, and Dalvin Cook. Those are the 3 players I want to see be used on 4th down. Nobody except that. Not one player, especially when it's a player who hasn't been thrown to with the Minnesota Vikings yet. His first target on 4th down. And of course they don't give it. And of course he doesn't get it because they're relying on Tajay Sharp on 4th down when he hasn't even played a single game with the Vikings yet and hasn't even caught a catch with the Vikings yet, and they throw it to him. I do like unpredictable plays. I like unpredictable plays, but when it's 4th down, I like reliable plays. I like plays that are designed for players that you can rely on. You can't rely on Tajay Sharp on 4th down. I'm sorry. It's almost like last year when they threw to Irv Smith on 4th down, and it was like one of his first passes too. That was a catchable pass also. That was a catchable pass, and it just did not work at all for him. That didn't work at all. Yeah, Irv Smith may wear 84. He is not Randy Moss. You don't throw it to Irv Smith on 4th down. I'm sorry. I think he's going to be a great tight end in the future. But right now, you want to design 4th down plays. You need a 4th down play designed ready for a player you can rely on, and it is not Tajay Sharp. That was the dumbest thing I saw yesterday. The Vikings were going to have a great drive. They could have shot a field goal. They had a great drive. They could have went for it. They could have gave it to Dalvin Cook, Kyle Rudolph, Adam Thielen, and that could have changed the game. They could have came back, got a touchdown, and everything could have changed. Nope, they designed a play for Tajay Sharp on 4th down. His first target with the Minnesota Vikings was on 4th down with the Minnesota Vikings. That was stupid. I don't know what Gary Kubiak is thinking, but that was just dumb. That was terrible. Now, okay, we covered the bad things. There was a lot of bad things we saw with the Vikings, but there was some good that came out of this. One thing in particular that I am so excited about, Kirk Cousins has realized he has legs. I don't know where it's been. I don't know where it's been the last 3 seasons. I've been saying Kirk Cousins has got to run with the ball. He is athletic. I know you can't see it, but he can run. He can run. He can move. You've seen him. You've seen him with the Washington Redskins. You've seen him move when he came to the Vikings. He did not move at all. He finally realizes that he has legs. Of course, I'm talking about the back-to-back first downs that he ran. One of them though, he just threw his body up. When he was going for the first down, he did not slide. He threw himself forward to get that first down, and he was fine. He was totally fine. In fact, I think if Kirk Cousins slid there, he would have took a bigger hit than what he did when he dove for the first down. If he slid, that guy would have fell on him, and that would have been a bigger hit, and you wouldn't have gotten the first down. Kirk Cousins realizes that he has legs. He ran 4 times with the ball. That's more times than I've seen him run with the ball the entire time with the Minnesota Vikings. All 3 seasons combined. I have not seen him run 4 times with the ball. I am so happy that he realizes that he has legs, and I want to see more of this from Kirk Cousins in this 2020 season, and it's something I expect to see from Kirk Cousins this 2020 season because it's what he did with the Redskins, and then he came here, and he hasn't done that one time. What? I think they've designed one play for him to run. I don't think they designed those plays for him to run anyways. I think he just ran with the ball, which I don't know why I haven't seen that till yesterday. I haven't seen that with Kirk Cousins at all with the Vikings. There's a reason why he wears pads. Not many quarterbacks wear pads except the ones that run, and Kirk Cousins is one of those that needs to run with the ball more, and I saw that yesterday, and I was so happy. Those back-to-back first downs. That was great. That was great. There's some other good that came out of this. We're going to be talking about the other good. Dakota Dozier. Dakota Dozier is a player that I was saying someone might take his spot. Dakota Dozier has not solidified himself as a starting offensive lineman yet. He did yesterday. Dakota Dozier had a great day yesterday. Now, of course, he didn't get any attention because he is an offensive lineman. And if offensive linemen don't get attention, that's because they probably did their job. Dakota Dozier did his job yesterday. He blocked on just about every play. He gave Dalvin Cook both of his great runs that ended in touchdowns. Dakota Dozier had a great day yesterday, and he is a starting. Was he playing left guard? Yeah. Dakota Dozier was playing left guard over Pat Elflein. Keep Dakota Dozier at left guard. Don't put Dakota Dozier back at right guard. Don't put Pat Elflein back at left guard. Keep Dakota Dozier at left guard because that was amazing. I want to see Dakota Dozier, more of him and more of what he did yesterday on the offensive line, and I want to see him play on that left side of the offensive line because that looked good. Dakota Dozier looked good yesterday, and that's amazing coming from an offensive line, which is terrible. I mean, Riley Reef is awful. Brian O'Neill didn't have a good game yesterday. Pat Elflein is never good. Garrett Bradbury held his own. Garrett Bradbury held his own against Kenny Clark. Now, again, Kenny Clark went out with an injury like halfway through the game, but he held his own against Kenny Clark, and that's great to see. And then also Alexander Madison looked amazing. Now, of course, Dalvin Cook got his new contract, so we won't be having Alexander Madison as our starting running back next year, which is what I actually thought was going to happen. We're going to be talking about the Dalvin Cook contract as well. But Alexander Madison had a great game yesterday. Let's look at his stats. 80 yards. He had 80 yards yesterday, which is great for a running back, backup running back. That is great on only 6 carries and 4 receptions, including that 21-yard rush. Dalvin Cook was playing great. They threw Alexander Madison out there, got him 20 yards. They're like, okay, Dalvin Cook is going back. It's like, that's great for a backup running back. They're fully healthy. They're fully like energetic. You put him out there, gets you 20 yards. Dalvin Cook can sit out for like a play and then come back. That was amazing. I love to see that. Averaging 8.3 yards a carry. That's amazing. 8.3 yards a carry. He had a great game yesterday. A great game. 6 carries and 4 receptions. More receptions than Dalvin Cook, honestly. That's another good thing that I saw from yesterday. They weren't passing to Dalvin Cook on every play. Now, of course, last year, a lot of the times they threw to Dalvin Cook and it worked because he's great after the contact or after catch. They didn't do that yesterday. I think they threw to him once, only to Dalvin Cook, and he got a negative 2 yards, I think it was. But I like to see less of that. We saw too much of it in 2019, and it barely worked. It only worked about 20% of the time. Which when it worked, it worked. Like that looked good on Kirk Cousins' stats, just to throw a 2-yard pass to Dalvin Cook and he runs 20. It looked good on Kirk Cousins' stats. But I want to see less of that this year because it was too much last year. Defenses knew it was coming every time. All right, another good thing to talk about. Something that nobody's talking about yesterday's game, which was really good, was the Vikings drive on in the fourth quarter. The score was what was the score at this time? Okay, the score was 36-18. So of course you have to give it to the Packers. You have to say the Packers were probably not trying a lot because given they're up like double the amount of points that the Vikings have. So the Packers defense was probably not trying a lot, but this was a great Vikings offense. It started out with KJ Osborne, our rookie kick returner and punt returner, who already looks better than every punt returner and kick returner that we've had since Cordero Patterson. KJ Osborne only had the ball twice. Now, I might be getting ahead of myself when I say this, but he already looks better than anyone I've seen since Cordero Patterson with the Vikings. Because everyone has been bad since then. Now, I'm probably getting ahead of myself. I mean, he only had 2 carries yesterday on kick returning. So, obviously, we have to see more of it. But he is fast, and he can move. And, better yet, he does not fumble the ball as much as everyone else that we've seen since Cordero Patterson. He looked great yesterday. So it started out with him kick returning for 38 yards, which is a great run, and then 3 consecutive first downs after that. Who were the first downs to? They were all given to Kirk Cousins, and he gave it to Irv Smith Jr., first down right there, and then a pass to Justin Jefferson. This was Justin Jefferson's time to shine. When it's garbage time, it's time to shine. When the Packers defense is trying less, this is Justin Jefferson's time to shine. They gave it to Justin Jefferson. He got a first down. That's 2 consecutive first downs, and then they gave it to BC, another first down, and this set up a great time for the Vikings to come back. Of course, then the Packers scored again, and then it was game over right there. But this put the Vikings back in the game right here. This drive that took like 1 minute for the Vikings to score was great because 3 consecutive first downs to 3 players who don't play much in the NFL, who haven't played much in the NFL. Irv Smith, Justin Jefferson, and BC are on their first and second years. So seeing that was great. And then obviously the KJ Osborne 38-yard rush or 38-yard kick return was really good. And then this set up Dalvin Cook to get his second touchdown, and then also to get his second 2-point conversion. This put the Vikings back in the game right there. And then, of course, the Packers scored, and it right there just ruined. But then the Vikings had another drive in fourth quarter. Vikings looked great in fourth quarter, and that was the beautiful pass. Beautiful pass to Adam Thielen. I was saying Adam Thielen has got to be our deep threat. Of course, we don't have Stephon Diggs, but Adam Thielen can go deep. We've seen a lot of this before. Adam Thielen can go deep. He had a great game yesterday. 6 for 6 on catchable catches. Now, of course, he had 7 targets, but one of them was a terrible pass by Kirk Cousins right into Jair Alexander's hands. So all 6 catchable catches Adam Thielen caught for 110 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 2-point conversions. This is really good. Now, he was quiet. He was quiet in the second and third quarter. But first quarter, right when the game started, two passes right off the bat to him, and then he was just quiet since the fourth quarter, which he lit it up. Adam Thielen had a great game, and so there was good. There was good that came out of this. I mean, yeah, the Vikings defense looked horrible, and we need Danielle Hunter back. We need Michael Pierce, which he's not going to play this season, unfortunately. We need him back, and we need someone to step up at corner. I don't care who it is. We have 4 corners. We need one person to step up. One of those guys to step up. Too bad we lost Trey Waynes. We couldn't have kept Trey Waynes. Too much money. There was no way the Vikings could have re-signed Trey Waynes. So it sucks that they lost him, but we have 4 corners now. 2 rookies, 2 players that are coming on I think they're both on their 3rd year now. So we have 4 players. One of them needs to step up. I don't think it's going to be Holton Hill. I don't think it's going to be Mike Hughes. We need one of our rookies to step up. I've seen enough of Mike Hughes. I think he did great his rookie season before he got injured. Outside of that, I haven't seen Mike Hughes do anything at all. He got an interception last year against the Chargers, which, yeah, because Phillip Rivers was pressured on every play. He gave it. Phillip Rivers, he threw like 5 interceptions that game. It was easy for Mike Hughes. I'm done with Mike Hughes. Of course, they got to give him more shots because he was a first-round draft pick, and he is probably our oldest corner right now that you can rely on. Our oldest corner is probably Mark Fields, but Mike Hughes is better than Mark Fields, obviously. But anyways, they're gonna keep Mike Hughes as their starting corner, but I want to see one of these rookies step up. I don't think it's gonna be Holton Hill. I don't think it's gonna be Mike Hughes. I'm sorry, I've seen enough of these guys. I want to see Cameron Dancer or Jeff Gladney step up, and we need someone to be our starting corner who can lock it down, even play zone coverage. We have a great linebacker group. We have a great safety group. You can play zone coverage, and we can look fine if one of these guys know how to play zone at all and can lock down a side of the field. It doesn't even have to be a lockdown corner, honestly. So if one of these guys step up, I think the Vikings can honestly look like a Super Bowl team if their defense can come together. Danielle Hunter's got to come back because I thought we were going to look fine without Danielle Hunter. We did not. Ngakoue didn't get to Aaron Rodgers once. Afadi Odenigbo did, but again, Afadi, you want to play him on the inside. I'm sorry. He is a great defensive end. He can get to the passer. He's a great defensive end, but playing him on the inside would be better. We didn't see anything from interior linemen. Jaleel Johnson held his own. Jaleel Johnson looked okay. He doesn't look like a starting interior lineman, but he did look okay. Jalen Holmes did not. I'm sorry, Jalen Holmes did not look good. We saw what's his name? Hercules Mataafa. We saw him. Didn't look good either. I'm sorry. We need help on that interior line. So the defense has got to step up. Our offense is ready to go. The only thing I saw bad from the offense was probably the worst thing I saw yesterday, which was designing a play for Tajay Sharp on 4th down, which is stupid. Dumbest thing I've seen yesterday from the Vikings in the last few years. That was stupid. I don't know why you would do that at all. That made no sense. That was the only bad thing I saw from the Vikings offense, though, which I guess you can count that as a good thing. Vikings offense looked great. They looked great yesterday. They looked amazing. They scored, what was it? It was like 34 or 36 points against the Packers defense. And then, obviously, the Packers scored like 43 points against the Vikings defense. Most in the Mike Zimmer era because Mike Zimmer had made a great defense throughout his entire career. If we had the defense we had a few years ago right today, Vikings would be a Super Bowl contender. They'd probably go to the Super Bowl if we had the defense from a few years ago. Now, of course, our defense sucks now. And honestly, if we had like any defense from the Mike Zimmer era at all, Mike Zimmer had made a great Vikings defense for years. For the last 10 years. How long has he been a head coach? I don't know. But defense has been fine with Mike Zimmer. So I guess that's a good thing. If Mike Zimmer can really control this defense, and Andre Patterson can, our defensive coaching staff is great. Our defensive coaching staff, Dom Capers, Mike Zimmer, and Who else? Andre Patterson. Our defensive coaching staff is great. Oh, and Adam Zimmer, Mike Zimmer's son. Our defensive coaching staff is great. So if they can have this come together, Vikings can be competing for a Super Bowl, no question. It's week 1, though. Vikings defense was really sloppy, and a lot of teams are sloppy week 1. Vikings defense was really sloppy, but it takes time to build a team, and it takes time to come together and build chemistry. So if the Vikings can come together on the secondary and on the defensive line also, Vikings can be competing for a Super Bowl. Until then, Vikings are going to be looking how they did yesterday, and we don't want to see any more of that. We don't want to see any more of that. Let me know what y'all think about this.